Welcome back. Let's bring you this conversation now. Economist Duma Gqubule says National Treasury seems to be favouring primary budget surpluses over job creation. In a Business Day article published just this week, Duma argues there's no interest in improving the efficacy and scale of public employment programs. Gqubule joins us for more on this conversation now via our video link. Duma, you've made some very strong statements about Treasury and the fact that it's not interested in improving the scale of public employment programs. Tell us how you come to this conclusion.
Thank you, Michelle. I was doing analysis of the budget for an organization called Youth Capital, and I discovered that the National Treasury we've got 3 public employment programs in the country. It's a presidential employment stimulus, the expanded public works program, and the community works program. These programs had a budget last year of 16.8 billion, and they created 1.8 million work opportunities. And according to my calculation. So now what happened in the budget is that they've cut the spending on these 3 programs. Unemployment, remember, should be the #1 priority in our country. We've got the 2nd highest unemployment rate in the world, unemployment rate of 41.9% and 12.2 million people without jobs. So that should be the #1 priority for the Reserve Bank and National Treasury. But what have they done? They've cut the budgets of these 3 programs by 13.7 billion rands. The presidential employment stimulus budget went down from about 9.4 billion rands to 3 billion rands. Sure. In the February budget, the presidential employment stimulus was supposed to get funding from the Unemployment Insurance Fund for its basic education employment initiative, which placed 250,000 people into school assistance into schools throughout the country. Now, the Unemployment Insurance Fund hasn't provided that funding, so the presidential employment stimulus has been left with 3 billion rand to fund about 4 or 5 other programs in its portfolio of public employment programs. And then the expanded public works program had its budget cut by 3.1 billion rands over the medium-term expenditure framework period. And the community works program had its budget cut by 4.3 billion rands. I think this is not right. National Treasury is taking opportunity, and according to my calculation, the work opportunities that they will create this year is 900,000. It's a cut of 50%. And in this desperate economic environment, we're taking livelihoods away from people who deserve it, the most vulnerable people in our society, because of this insane obsession with this primary budget surplus that the government has.
I mean, if you're talking about 900,000 work opportunities, and I want to get to the issue of what work opportunities are versus actual jobs, right? But that target of creating 5 million work opportunities in 5 years is surely not on track.
Yes, that's what I was saying. So each of them have got different targets. So the expanded public works was supposed to provide 5 million work opportunities in 5 years, 1 million a year. So the minister did say so in Parliament that they can't achieve more with less, so they won't achieve that target. So each of the programs will not achieve their target. The 250,000 people who have been assistants into the basic education initiative, they're sitting at home now. They don't have jobs, you know. So it's actually, and I read this morning that in KwaZulu-Natal, people are camping in the park, outside the government offices to get their jobs back, but they haven't been taken back. So it's got ripple effects throughout the country across all provinces.
Yeah, absolutely. And the irony of the situation, Duma, is for us to, we're working towards achieving this primary budget surplus, but for us to do that, we need an economy that is growing. And for an economy to grow, we need to be creating jobs. It's these different issues that are all part of the same puzzle that we can't seem to get right at the same time.
Yeah, there's 3 policy tools to, I've done scenarios as to what we can do as a country to achieve full employment, an unemployment rate of 5% or less by the year 2035. So there's 3 policy tools. The first one is a GDP growth rate. Now, if you look at our economy, we've got the key things that the annual new entrance into the labor force is about 740,000 until 2035. So we have to have a GDP growth rate of 4% just to create jobs for those people who enter the labor force until 2035. So let alone the 12.2 million who are unemployed. So we have to do more. We have to have a GDP growth rate of 6% to start eating into the people who are unemployed. We also need industrial policies to create incentives for labor-intensive industries. And the third one is these public employment programs. So what we've been arguing is that I believe that we should merge the 3 public employment programs. We should capitalize it with a with a transfer from the Unemployment Insurance Fund surplus, which is about 100 billion rands. And we should provide, ongoing support to this program. So we should have a target to achieve. I think we should have targets to achieve. It's 1.8 currently. The ANC in its manifesto says 2.5. I believe we should set a target of about 5 million job opportunities by we should set up this new quasi-public institution that merges all these 3, that's got civil society oversight and professional management. And this is an institution that all South Africans should be proud with. It should improve the quality of work of these public employment programs. You must remember that a lot of them are not really, some of them, it's a spectrum in terms of the quality. The Basic Education Initiative was probably the best one in terms of the quality of work. It provided work for 8 months. The others provide 2 days a week of work. And I was looking at the presentation of the Department of Public Works, and they provide 2 days a week of work, but they were complaining that they don't even have a budget to train people. So if you're working on these expanded public works programs, they can't train you to do work that you can use outside of the program. So these are the kind of things we must look at improving the quality of the work, the training that people get on these jobs, and so forth. So I do think that it's a missed opportunity by Treasury to, the president has been talking about it in all his speeches. He talks about this presidential employment stimulus that has provided 1.7 million work and livelihood opportunities since it was started in 2020. Now, Treasury has cancelled the president's favorite program. I don't know. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's such a lost opportunity for our economy as well. 70% of our young people sitting at home without work. And yeah, you said it in your article as well, Duma. In his State of the Nation address in July, the president said government would expand, do the opposite of what we're seeing happening now, and institutionalize public employment programs so that more and more young people can participate in job opportunities and in skills development. Duma Gqubule, let me thank you for your time this afternoon. I think you and I can go on and on the issue of budget cuts and austerity measures and the impact on the economy and work opportunities. We'll leave it there for now. Thanks very much for joining us.